Well, hello, gang. A rare video these days. Welcome to the big board. It's been a little hard to get some content created, all circumstances considered. But what we have here is Overlord, campaign for Normandy, yada, 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 from NES, New England Simulations. It's part of, or an expansion to the Killing Ground, so you need the Killing Ground module. So I've got both of those, picked these up a little while back. And I thought I'd play just one beach, didn't do all of them, just to try and get a feel for the system and how things work for the landings. I've often found that with Normandy-based games, particularly when we get down to that sort of battalion scale, that the landings can be a challenge, or too complicated, or overwrought, or too simplistic. You know, it's a very difficult balancing act to get the right flavor and vibe. I know there are some other games that at the company level, they've not floated my boat, but primarily because they have a landing scenario, but they don't provide you the ability to not have a landing scenario, so you can't start on the 7th, for instance, which to me would be logical, which most other games that I have played on Normandy or about Normandy give you a 7th of June option to play, because, hey, not everybody wants to go through all this rigmarole. And this is interesting, actually. It's not too complicated, and it's not too overwrought. The only issue I have with this, and I'll just net it out for you for all those that don't like to watch long videos, because I don't know how long this will go for, is that there are basically, you know, technically 3 rule books that you need to kind of cross-reference to. So you need to have a good, solid understanding of sort of the basics of the Killing Ground. Then there's the, and this is a printout version, there's the basically Rule 27 onwards, Game Turn 1 playbook. And you can literally just go through this paragraph by paragraph, and then when required, cycle back through the little play sequence and repeat using the, let me just grab it here. I just got a marker because I couldn't find the actual counter, but we're actually on the 5th landing phase now. But you use this little sequence here to land all of the troops. And so it's a break, it's a one turn only sequence of play, along with, and here's where the little thing gets a little complicated, along with a second real rule book that's called Overlord. And that has specific rules for sort of the beachhead battles from June 7th through, I don't know what day it actually runs through. There's a date in here somewhere. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Yeah, turn 2 until the completion of both of the depots, supply depots, and then you move to the Killing Ground. Well, the cool thing is, you know, you can just play on one, let me zoom out here a little bit. On one map, I can play all the landings. I can play the deployment of the depots and all that sort of good stuff. And then there are exit points at the top of the map that you can't see very well. But there are exit points where you can move units off the map and they would go towards your victory conditions and all that sort of good stuff, right? So you can do all of the landings on one map, and you don't have to set up all 3 maps to play the game, which is really nice. On the other side of this map is the same map, but it's assuming that you're going to play the entire campaign, and so you have some different stuff on the map. But nevertheless, that's how that all kind of works, kind of, sort of. And interestingly enough, when you're playing the landings here, it's very straightforward. You go through each individual landing stage, and then you're going to roll on a table here. Let me see if I can find it real quickly. There's a table here that's got the D-Day and build-up charts and tables, right? So the combat units beach landing table. There's a table here for the paratroopers to land on. There's support points to get them landed as well. And it's got some modifiers and stuff like that based on the weapons nests and how strong the defense is for the beach and what the obstacle levels are on the particular beach at a particular time and all that sort of good stuff. So all of those things are sort of abstractions around getting stuff onto the beach, clearing the beach, clearing the weapons nests near the beach. There were some, you can see here, over here, where there are all weapons nests and stuff, and they all would need to be basically cleared and attacked as the troops are landing. Here at Utah, things were a little easier, and I chose to land where they were intended to land, and that allowed that. I think that gave me some advantages actually when it came to attacking the weapons nests, which were significantly weaker, right? So and despite that, we still had significant losses. So getting to this point, we've lost 1, 2, 3, 4 steps, 5 steps. So that would be almost 3 battalions of troops, which is a lot of troops, plus 2. Well, it's hard to say how much I've lost with the paratroopers because there were steps lost on the landings, but I think basically 5 steps of paratrooper losses as well between the 82nd and the 101st Airborne. So a bit of a beatdown, probably mostly attributed to poor play. Now, it's interesting that with this game, given that it's built on the Victory in the West system, it has this sort of if you're in the zone of control, you got to attack type of thing. But if you're a battalion or smaller, or a weapons nest, or certain other types of units, you don't have to attack. So there is this ability to land, get adjacent to these things, bring some more units in, and then overpower these weapons nests. But of course, given the funky nature of the CRT, which I don't think there's really a need to show you. If you're familiar with how Victory in the West works, you'll be pretty comfortable, and you're not going to be able to read this anyway. But you've got one step loss, 1 retreat hex, and 1 step loss for the defender. 1 disruption or disorganization. Here it's 2. I want to say that's 2 retreats. Is it, or 1 retreat? I've just got to check here. Defender takes a mandatory step and attacker loses 1. Yeah, this is the retreat number, the number closest to the slash. So it's 2 retreats, 1 retreat, one step loss. When it's got the arrow, it's a retreat. So, and of course, when you roll on these CRTs, it's all when you roll 7, which is the average number on 2d6. Assuming there are no mods, 7s are always bad, generally speaking. The attacker is always going to take a loss. It's a very brutal, bloody CRT, and there are very, very few modifiers that you're going to pick up. There's no divisional integrity, there's no combined arm bonuses, there's none of that in the landing phase because it's A, it's all infantry, and B, we're down at this sort of battalion scale for things. And you may get the odd shift here or there for a weapons nest that is being targeted by Navy or something like that.